It's Coach Carol coming to you today to talk about rewriting your quarantine story, your COVID-19, like what is happening in your world. Have you been in a place where you're struggling, you're having a hard time, you're really challenged by everything that's happening? Well, I want you to know that you have an opportunity to rewrite that story. And so this video is for you. You know, my mission as a marriage coach is all about empowering women, spreading love, and ending world divorce. That's what we're up to. And I know that many married couples right now are closer than perhaps they've been in a while. And I'm hearing a lot of it from my clients that there's some challenges with being together so much, so intensely. Maybe he's leaving his clothes all over the place and he's not helping with cooking and you're feeling burdened. You got kids to homeschool and there's just so much on your plate that you're spinning out. I get it. I'm hearing it a lot. And I really want to empower you to be able to change that story so that how you show up is your best self. Perhaps you're not sleeping, perhaps you're feeling lonely and even lost, and high anxiety, right? Stress, fear, just worried all night long. Maybe you're up in the middle of the night pacing the floors, or that you're just not sure that you can do this one more day. What are you going to do? Walk out that door, right? So I want you to find your happy again. I want you to focus on what you really want more of. I want to empower you to be a warrior, not a victim, all right? That's what we are up to in my Happy Wife community. If you're not in that community, I invite you to join the Happy Wife community on Facebook. I was stuck years back. I can remember feeling like, I was tired all the time. I was working. I was homeschooling 3 kids. I was starting a business. We had rental properties. I was turning to coffee all the time just to get me through the day. I had migraines and that would just debilitate me, send me to bed. And I actually ran away one weekend. I took off and went off to a camp that I had rented because I just needed to escape. I was going to burst. I just could not do it one more day. What happened when I was gone was that I really poured in self-care. I lit a fire in that wood stove. It was a chilly springtime here, and I dove into prayer, into reading, and to sleeping late and staying up late, reading, and just, I love a good fire, bundled up in blankets and cooking foods that I wanted and not having to take care of anybody but me, right? And so that's what I needed to do for self-care. And so I needed to get unstuck. I needed to refill my cup because I didn't even know that I should be on my priority list. Nobody told me that on top of doing everything for my family and taking care of the kids and businesses and all, that I needed to have myself on the priority list. And I'm here to tell you that it's actually even more important than putting a nice dinner on the table is to make sure that you've done something to take care of you. In fact, I challenge my clients to do at least 3 things of self-care a day. At least 3 things of self-care. And if they're going through a separation, or maybe there's been an affair or something awful is going on in their life, perpetual self-care. Like that's like the main focus is continuously doing stuff to keep you filled up and to be able to refill that cup so that you have even something to give. And that for me, when my self-care is full, if somebody throws a jab at me, it can roll off my back. I'm not going to jab back. I can just be happy. I can just roll with the punches and not feel like I need to get defensive, right? So that's the power of self-care. And I invite you to take that on and to do 3 things a day. Now, my coach way back, I remember he asked me, what makes you happy, Carol? What would you do to fill yourself up? I had no idea. I had completely drained myself. And so I ask you, what makes you happy? If you don't know, I get it. All right. And so we're going to do a little exercise here to help you get clear. If you paused and thought about how people would describe you today, what would they say? Would they describe you in the way that you want to? You know, for me, I think people would say, years back anyways, that I was hardworking, that I was very passionate, and that I was always busy. But I wasn't always present. I wasn't always present to what was going on for my kids, my family. And often I was tired and I was cranky. And I was resentful and short-fused. I admit all that. And so now, right now, when I pause and say, wait a minute, how do I want to show up? What do I want people to say about me? At my funeral, what do I want people to say about me? And I ask you that when it's your funeral, how do you want people to describe you? And I got really clear that what I want people to say is that I'm kind, loving, and faithful. I hope that's how I'm being. I'm hoping that that's what I'm living into, right? Because I've learned that what I focus on, I get more of. And so that if I am constantly depleted and I'm not doing my self-care and I'm thinking about how, gosh, I wish they'd pick up their clothes. I wish, oh, why isn't anybody helping me? Why do I have to do the cooking and the dishes again, right? If I'm in that angry, resentful place, that's what I get more of. And then I'm not showing up as my best self. I want to come through this quarantine transformed and focused more on who I want to be, kind, loving, and faithful. And so what are your words? I invite you to type them in the chat below. I'd love to know how you want to show up in this time and how you want to write your quarantine story. If it's been one where you've been a victim, let's get rid of that. Let's make you into a warrior. What would it take for you to be a warrior? That's something that we're talking about in my Happy Wife Facebook community. If you're not in there, come and join. The link is down below. Like this video, hit the little bell so that you'll be notified of when I do another one, and come join that Facebook group where you're going to be able to learn even more about how to be your best self and write the best story of this quarantine time, one that you're going to laugh at in future years, right? So thank you for being here, and we'll talk again real soon.